babies.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, boys.
Wow, look at the queen. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. He's got the sunshine on him.
Mm-hmm.
Can't hear you, Ray. Jesus Christ, get your shit together.
I found out some additional information of his little casino trip yesterday.
I thought he was
going with. Go on.
Spies on Bill.
No, I went to his house. I went to drop something off, but I thought he was going with friends. No. It was with a girlfriend's friend.
Oh, girlfriend's friends trip. That's big. So, okay. Well, that explains it. No wonder why.
That's why I'm so happy. And
couldn't go full Billy Bad Words.
Oh, I will do it anyways. I don't care.
You couldn't dive deep into the trash can, underneath all the soiled goods. You had to stay on the top level around all the plastics and the papers and shit.
Yep. That's right.
You do look fresh, though. You look
Thank
like you got lined up for the big occasion.
Yeah, it was definitely needed. Much needed haircut.
Oh, you do sound like you had a rough night, though. You do sound like shit.
I'm not feeling great.
How are you, Raven?
I'm great.
I like that you're drinking the God's Nectar, although this show is brought to you by someone else. I'm sure that's your second beer. It's mine as well. But I picked a stout. It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's why I'm drinking this, because it's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Well, no, a stout, like a good coffee stout, it's more like it's like a breakfast beer. There's actually breakfast stouts. No, not for Dr. Big Mac. It's just nothing.
Jesus' nectar, baby.
Jesus' nectar at any point in time. Yep. Yeah, I love it. Actually, that's great. Yeah, I'm excited about a little morning show.
I like it.
Get the sports talk out of the way. Go do some house chores, some yard work. And
gorgeous day out. Gorgeous out here right now.
Really beautiful day. And are you guys hip on any HBO Sunday shows? They had a good string there for a while. I don't think they're putting.
I haven't watched any of the new ones, but yeah, their run of TV shows was fucking great.
The Little Things with the guy from 30 Seconds to Mars, and who was
Jared Leto?
Jared Leto, and there's another guy in it. It was a great movie. I forgot who else was in it. I saw it a while ago.
Oh shit! Was that when he played the murderer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't Denzel Washington in it?
Was it Denzel? Yeah. Okay, it was Denzel Washington.
Remember, and then dare you forget Denzel?
I know. I wanted to say it, but I didn't want to also come off as a racist just saying Denzel Washington because there's a black guy in it. So
that had
I was choosing my words very carefully there.
Fair enough.
That was with Remy Malkin.
Remy Malkin. There we go. Thank you.
And they kill him at the end and then bury him in the desert.
All right.
What the fuck, Bill?
Rich, you don't have to watch it now.
Seen it? Sorry.
No, probably neither have a lot of the people listening. So I don't know.
This movie came out like 6 months ago. All right, fucking. If you're not with the times.
The obvious one. I didn't ask about movies. I asked about Sunday HBO shows. Like they had a good run of every Sunday at 8 or 9 o'clock, or back to back. They were running back to backs there for a while with Silicon Valley and Game of Thrones. That was like a must. That was like a must sit down and watch Sunday night kind of evening. Anyway, my point was, now that all the shit's out of the way, I won't be up editing Bill's beeps for ruining movies for people. I can actually sit down and maybe watch a movie tonight. Maybe I'll watch that one, and I'll know what's going to happen for 2 hours. Thanks, Bill.
New Mortal Kombat was out. Pretty good. You can watch that.
Already did.
Do you like it?
It was what it was.
I like it. I thought it was good. It's set up for the sequel, at least.
Yeah, you want to let the people know how it ended?
No, this one.
Did you say
this one just came out. Haven't seen it, Ray?
No.
It's pretty good. I liked it. They could have done it a little better, but it was a lot better than the fucking first movie that the first Mortal Kombat movie. The acting is so bad, it's funny though.
Yeah.
The guy in the hat. What was the guy's in the hat name?
Raiden?
No. The other, the throws it and it cuts people.
Oh, Liu Kang? Was that him? I forget.
The other guy. Ray, he dies.
Yeah,
welcome to Simple Minds Sports Show. Monday headlines. Oh fuck, my calendar. May
3rd.
Thanks, Bill. May 3rd.
Yep, May 3rd.
Welcome to the show.
Wow, he is on his game today.
Yeah. Good for him.
Only because I've had this day marked on my calendar for the last month. May 3rd.
This day.
Because I can start spending money in my baseball league now.
What a prick.
What a nerd. What a fucking nerd.
I can start spending money on my baseball league. And you did pretty well at the casino?
Yeah, like 900, I think.
Think of the motivation he had. Just sit. What are you? I forget. What are you, craps guy?
I was playing blackjack and roulette last night. We were up over 1,000, but then I started playing $100 blackjack hands.
Think of him. Hitter stay. He's just like, ooh. Think of the fucking shortstop I could get if I hit this.
I already have a good shortstop.
Okay, sorry, Bill. Jesus Christ. This show is brought to you by our favorite brewery in New Hampshire, White Birch Brewing, down in Nashua, New Hampshire. Ray, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
Get your White Birch. They're coming out with new shit all the time. New shit. And they're also very welcoming at the tap room. If up in New Hampshire, I know COVID is less of a thing than a lot of places in the world. So you're out, you're about, go do some drinking. The weather is beautiful. They got nice outdoor seating out there. So on the weekends, whenever you get a chance, get on down to White Birch Brewing in Nashua. If you see them in the stores, pick up a 4-pack, 6-pack, whatever they got. Tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you. White Birch Brewing. Okay, big news over the weekend. Obviously, the NFL draft. We watched Thursday night.
I don't remember much of it.
No, you guys were, mainly Bill was atrocious. We recorded some of it with thoughts and hopes of releasing a video, and I just got to tell you, here's another spoiler alert. None of that's usable. None of that is usable. It's just beeps and Bill. That's pretty much it. There's one segment where Bill leaves and Ray goes to go get a beer or something, and me and Nikki Nike talk about the potential of Mac Jones. That's it. So well done on your part. So let's get your impression now. After all of the rounds have been completed, the actual Nike the dog was in the war room there, as we saw over the weekend. Let me just give you the draft picks and get your overall first impressions. Number 1, 15 overall, first-round draft pick, obviously Mac Jones, quarterback out of Alabama. Then they moved up in the second round to get Christian Barmore out of Alabama. A lot of Crimson Tide on this Patriots team. In the third, in that 96, the Tom Brady pick went Ron Perkins from Oklahoma, right?
Oklahoma, yep.
Outside linebacker. He slipped for smoking weed, and so did his buddy, Rondamore Stevenson. Both those guys got popped for doing weed together, and
5
the Patriots fucking snapped them right up back to back. Running back Stevenson's out of Oklahoma. Cameron McGrone out of Michigan was a linebacker in the 5th. Joshua Bledsoe, I don't know where he's, safety at
Missouri.
That's right, Missouri. Yep. William Sherman, offensive tackle, big boy. You got him college there, Ray? I don't know. Colorado, that's right. And then the new Julian Edelman, Trey Nixon, wide receiver out of
UCF.
He's
got good size for a slot guy.
And I think he's really, really fast.
Yeah, running like a 4.3 or 4.4 40, something like that.
Only white boy on the board. Go Trey. Next Edelman.
Hey, Mac Jones is white.
We needed wide receivers in this draft. This is the biggest wide receiver draft in the past few years, and we don't draft one until the 7th round. Gotta love it.
Okay, Brave. So go ahead. What is that? Your first impression? You were just waiting for them to take a wide receiver?
Yeah, you figured they would with the 3rd or 4th round pick, that they had, but yet they waited until the 7th round. I mean, the pro comparison is like a Julian Edelman. He's a smaller guy. He's fast. He's quick off the line of scrimmage. He needs to work on his hands, apparently. He has a little bit of the drop season, but he also got hurt last year. He only played 4 games with a shoulder injury, so we'll see what happens. I mean, do you know how they are with the wide receivers in the 7th round and undrafted guys? They're pretty good, so.
Yeah, can I just say something before you go on with the rest of the picks? I didn't want him to take a wide receiver. They suck at wide receivers. This is actually the perfect spot for him to get a wide receiver, completely mold him from nothing into what they want. He'll probably fit right into the slot. That's what he projects as, or he won't make the team. He's a 7th round guy. Like I
bet you special teams. You'll be on special teams probably. Yeah.
Yeah, they do love themselves some special teams guys. I thought, we're going to talk more about this on Tuesday on our Tuesday draft preview show, so we don't have to dive too deep. But after that Mac Jones pick, I thought it was the Bill Belichick show from front to back. I mean, the way Ray likes to wipe, opposite. The defensive picks that they have there, the running back.
How do you write front to back, Ray?
Don't.
He goes back to front. He's got shitty balls.
Ugh.
It just smelled like Bill Belichick or Ray's shitty balls. That one I didn't line that one up. That was actually accidental. Bill, give me your overall impressions after 7 rounds here.
I mean, obviously the big one, Mac Jones. I didn't expect him to be at 15. You heard the rumblings that they were trying to they were trying to trade up to get one of the top quarterbacks, but everything just seemed to fall in place for them to, him to slide down to 15. I like it. I think Barmore, whatever. I think he's probably their best pick right now. I think he's the one that probably has the chance to play the most. I don't think Mac Jones is going to come in and be a day one starter. I still think they're going to give every chance they can for Cam to start. But getting aggressive, you trade 2 4th-round picks to move up by 8 spots. He took him at 38, right? Somewhere around there.
Yep, 38 exactly.
So I mean, he was the number 1 defensive tackle on the board. He was supposed to go in the 20s and slipped. And I'm glad they went and got aggressive. It's the 8th Alabama player taken by Belichick since Saban became coach there, and 13th Saban player overall. I think he's the best one. I didn't want any wide receiver at this point. Again, they suck at drafting wide receiver. I still wanted them to kind of get younger on the edge. With Perkins, you saw that in the 4th round, which I like. Rich, I think you mentioned in our chat exchange that he had a high motor, wants to come in. He's saying all the right things. They kind of did their homework on him. And you see a lot of the talented guys, especially the weed guys, slip because of that. So, I mean, hopefully you kind of have a find here in the 4th round. You look at Trey Flowers kind of came in the 4th round too. And now you're getting younger on linebacker with Kyle Van Noy and Dante Hightower in their 30s. So, I mean, and now you're kind of drafting the next outside. So it's going to be, and he can learn on a Judon who's, back-to-back Pro Bowler the last 2 years. So, I mean, you just got younger on the edge is what you need. And especially at defensive tackle, you overhauled that whole, the whole position last year. You signed 3 guys and brought 2 of your own guys back and Guy and Dedrick Weiss. So, I mean, I like it. I like the additions. And again, I didn't need the offense. You addressed the offense in the free agency. Your bread and butter's defense, and you're building it out. After that, Mac Jones, I don't know if they would have traded up to get him, but I think they would have went. So. I think they went defense there. Maybe Zaven Collins, because I think he went 17 after the Patriots. So, I mean, you might have saw him go, but I just think Mac Jones was too hard to pass up. Now you got your quarterback of the future, and hopefully we'll see him this year, but I'm not counting on it. I don't think Bill's going to play a rookie quarterback unless the Cam Newton we saw last year shows up. But then,
it's interesting. It'll be forever a question on the Mac Jones thing. He was never going to trade up. They were never going to trade up.
No, he didn't want to. Even Albert Breer said it on Friday. He's like, they had no plans of trading up. They weren't going to pay that price. You see him move in the later rounds. Like I love them going up in the 2nd round. I think that.
And apparently too, they were saying the 2022 draft. More star-studded. So they didn't like a lot of teams didn't want to risk trading up and risking 2022 draft picks because of how the talent that's coming out next year. So that was another play that they were saying that the Patriots didn't want to trade up in the 1st round.
Yeah, and I thought the wide receiver. Sorry, Rich, I'm going to cut you up, but I thought the wide receiver draft class this year was top heavy. I think after the first 3-4 guys, there wasn't much left, and I'm glad they waited till the 7th round. You got needs in offensive linemen. You've seen him pluck, Onunwa last year in the 6th round. This guy can play right and left tackle. He's going to be probably your swing tackle, potentially starter if Wynn can't stay healthy. So I like the moves they made. The good depth pieces. They're really building out the roster for depth, which you had 0 last year. Yeah. 0.
Yeah, we've talked about it. I like that they stayed close to the line in a majority of their picks. D tackle, Ronnie Perkins was DN. I mean, he profiles as an outside linebacker because he's undersized in the NFL, but he was playing on the line a lot in college when he wasn't smoking weed. The other linebacker, McGrone out of Michigan, high profile, but he blew his fucking ACL, so you won't see him for a year. Offensive tackle in Sherman there, and even the running back.
I like him. He's a big boy. He's fucking huge. That's like a fullback. That's like Garrett Blunt again. He looks like he has more talent than Blunt does.
That's what they're saying. He has a pro comparison of LeGarrette Blunt, but he has more athletic ability. Plus, he actually watched LeGarrette Blunt and studied tapes of LeGarrette Blunt, so he kind of mirrored his game after LeGarrette Blunt.
And he's a 3-down back too.
He called Bill Belichick a genius when he got drafted. So plug him as starter.
Who was the one that said Gilmore? Was it Perkins who was like, "Yo, Gilmore used to be there," and they're like, "No, he's still there." He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get clowned for this."
Well, he was high, so
yeah, probably. Well, you're allowed to smoke weed in the NFL now.
There you go. He should be a day one starter too. Let me just give you a quote from Mac Jones. Let's circle back to him, and then we'll move on and save the rest for Tuesday. Speaking of some Patriots boner talk, Mac Jones had a bunch of these quotes on draft night and after his presser when he got to New England. But here's just one of them. Quote, "At the end of the day, you kind of want to get to the right fit. I feel like secretly I really wanted to go to the Patriots all along. So I'm actually really happy that it happened. He also went on to say the Patriots are the best organization in the NFL. I think he said ever. So, he was
facts.
He was really, pining for that starting job too. We know from the Cam Newton experience that if you just continue to lap Bill's balls up and say that he's the greatest, yeah, you can throw for 69 yards in a game,
nice,
and still get the start all the way through week 17. So way to go, Mac, already playing the system. Last point in this, I think that the Justin Fields move that the Bears made, they gave up a future first to
a first, a fourth, a fifth. And then this year's okay, first.
But they came up from 20, right?
Yep.
So I think the comparison, I think maybe Felger and Maz had it, but what it taken for the Patriots to get there essentially was a second and a fourth, or their first and their second, and they would have got a fourth in return. So essentially you just have to move from your second round position to a fourth round position, and you could have went up and got Justin Fields.
Yeah, that 46 was enticing, but
whether you wanted them to do that or not, depending on where you fall on Mac Jones and Justin Fields, and I don't think any of us are college football experts enough to really give a definitive answer. Frankly, fucking nobody is. But that it's always going to be a comparison from a Patriots perspective. Mm-hmm. Should they went up and got the superior athlete, or is Mac Jones going to be the guy? And, as much as Mac Jones was talked about a second round profile coming out of a school, and it was really hard to judge him because he was surrounded by so much talent and everybody wins at Alabama, yada, yada, yada. The kid threw for 42 touchdowns and 4 picks and 4,000 yards. Like, he's clearly skilled, and he was defined by everybody as the most pro-ready quarterback to come out. It's just a question of how high his ceiling is. You got to imagine Bill Belichick and the Patriots, that's the number one fit for a guy like that, especially with everything they did in free agency this year.
I was down on Mac Jones, early in the offseason, especially in January of national. I wanted no part of him. I've stated it multiple times on the show, but since January to now, I've kind of warmed up on him, especially seeing him, the rumors of him going as high as 3. 49ers did a good job of not tipping their hand. They just let the Mac Jones rumor mill blow up until the last couple of days, and then the Lance news started coming out. I like what they did with the offense, with to build around Mac Jones because his strengths, but it does scare me that you just had 2 top 10 picks at wide receiver that he played with. I mean, Waddle and Smith both went top 10. That can't be discounted because, those guys are legitimate NFL ready wide receivers. So let's hope that it's not with the talent around him and that this guy actually has skill, because arm strength's low and he can't move in the fucking pocket. But if you kind of think about it, Brady was the same thing, but he was a 6th round pick compared to Mac Jones at 15. So, I'm not sure where his comparison would be. I see a lot of kind of Bledsoe in him, just stands there in the pocket.
I think he's bigger than, I think he's got
a comparison for you.
Go ahead, Ray.
They compare him to Matt Ryan and Chad Pennington.
Yeah. I think he's got pocket presence. I think he's a heady quarterback. I think, he's accurate, he's heady, and he's got some pocket awareness. He's not Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson, even the guys that can run and make plays on the run. He's not your 2020 NFL quarterback that everybody wants. And frankly, I don't care.
I hate running quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well, we were on the same page for a long time. They've never worked. Not one. Lamar Jackson won the MVP and blew it in the playoffs. And then came crashing down to earth his second season in the NFL. It happens every goddamn time. But, you look at a guy like Mahomes, who's more suited as a profile to Aaron Rodgers, where he's not a running quarterback.
He can move.
He's got one of the best arms in the fucking league.
But he can move if he has to. Yeah.
But he can move, and he can pick up a 3rd and 10 if the defense gets lazy.
It's like Russell Wilson. If you think of Russell Wilson should be a pocket quarterback, but his offensive line has sucked his whole life in Seattle, so he's got to run. He's got to run for his life. But
so he's the greater point. Sorry, but the greater point is Mac Jones, I don't think, is picking you up a 3rd and 10 with his legs like that. But I think he can maybe get you 3rd and 4. He's not Bledsoe or Drew or Brady back there. I think he's got more than that. Just watching the tiny bit that I have, but more importantly, he fits what the Patriots want to do. They want an accurate guy that can make the right plays at the right time
and get rid of the ball.
By the way, Cam Newton couldn't do it. Mm-mm. So. Will he start week 1? I'm more leaning towards you, Bill. No, because that's just the way the Patriots run shit down there.
There's a big maybe.
If Cam Newton comes out and is talking balls at Hunter Henry's feet in week 1 of the preseason, then do not get it twisted. That quarterback position came a lot from Bob Kraft. Picking that quarterback,
I think so too,
came a lot from Kraft. And if he sees his quarterback Cam Newton in the preseason looking like he looked last year, don't
ring,
be
ring.
Yeah.
Belichick,
hey, Bill, how's Mac looking? How's Mac looking in practice? How's he looking? He's not going to say play the kid, but there'll be pressure. There will absolutely be pressure from management.
Yeah, and they were saying it on the radio, all week. If they're going quarterback, this is coming from Kraft. Like, you need to get the guy here. You let Brady walk out the door. You traded Garoppolo, whether it's from Kraft or Bill. That's a different story. But yeah, they fucked this quarterback transition up royally.
And Bill might have needed it. Look, maybe Belichick didn't want to take him a quarterback there, but a lot of that I think was probably out of spite. And I don't really care if Mac Jones was. Well, I do. I think it's important where Mac Jones. I asked the question when you guys were fucked up on Thursday night. Where did Mac Jones land on the Patriots big board? Was he actually number one? Where did he fall on that quarterback big board? That kind of matters to me, but at the end of the day, it doesn't. Now he's here, so he's got to be good. I guess my point was back to that question. If it was completely up to Bill Belichick, he might not have taken a quarterback, but that little chirp from Kraft probably helped him. Like, come on, man. Like, you need a quarterback. Don't be the spiteful asshole just to be the spiteful asshole. This guy's got a first round grade. He has, how good he is. Like, you understand where he can land. He's an NFL quarterback. You need one. Take him.
In this year too, if you think about it, in years past, Bills always say, we'd rather not be forced to take a guy in a shitty quarterback draft. So the year that they truly needed a quarterback, outside of last year, they weren't getting any decent quarterback last year. But you look at it this year, they finally, when they needed a quarterback, there was 5
right.
Top
it might have lined up perfectly for him.
It seems like it really did. And I don't want to say that might have been his plan and kind of maybe get Cam for a year and then address it in this draft. But the way it lined up is perfect, because it wasn't the Brandon Whedon draft with fucking Blaine Gabbert, Jake Locker, all that shit, where these teams that needed a quarterback were forced to pick from garbage. Cam Newton still went number one
overall. MVP.
Still went number one.
Heisman Trophy winning national champion.
Yeah.
That Cam Newton.
But I mean, that's the year they needed a quarterback. They finally got one. I'm happy.
No, you're right, Bill. You're right. I was kind of all along. I don't want them trading up because I don't want to be the next Buffalo Bills and giving up your future round draft picks to go get a quarterback just because you need one. It may have worked out perfectly. Now there's a good chance that Mac Jones absolutely sucks. But at least you didn't give up future capital for him. You gave up a mid first round pick for a starting quarterback in the NFL. If that works out, even as he doesn't have to be a Pro Bowler. If you go to the playoffs with Mac Jones, that's a win.
Yeah, I think so. And the offense around him too. I mean, he gets rid of the ball quick, and then you just got 2 of the top 5-6 tight ends in the NFL.
Oh, it's going to be a fun offense. We'll talk more about it on Tuesday. Yep. I just wanted to do one more thing here in the draft. I went through the draft grades just on NFL.com. I haven't dug too deep in it because I think grades are
so stupid.
They're so stupid. But this one's excellent, and it's awesome because everybody from NFL.com got over a B. It was either a B or B plus or higher. A lot of A's, a lot of A minuses. You know who got a C? The only team that got a C, the worst draft. And this is NFL.com. These are their teams. Like, they work for them. They're not going to bury these guys. I'm sure if you went to ESPN or somewhere else, there'd be teams with F's and D's and shit. The Houston Texans continue their debacle through the fucking
deserved
world of the NFL. They get a C. Their first pick was quarterback. Now this was early in the 3rd round, right?
That was their first pick.
That was their first pick because they traded their first and second round draft picks away for Barney Tunzel.
That worked out well. Their first pick was David Mills.
Guy.
David Mills out of Stanford. What is that? Just quickly, I don't want to too much time on it. Ray, what does that say about Deshaun Watson and the future of the Texans? And if you care, their other picks were Michigan wide receiver. I don't know if there's ever been a Michigan wide receiver in the NFL.
David Tyrell. He used to play for the Patriots. He played with Brady down there.
Desmond Howard
won the Heisman.
He wasn't really a wide receiver though. No. Anyway, they got a tight end in Miami, a linebacker
from Exeter, New Hampshire.
Yeah. No, he went to Miami.
Oh, no, Miami. I'm sorry.
He went to Miami.
Anyway, I'm more curious about the David Mills draft pick and what it means for Deshaun Watson and his rapey charges.
He ain't coming to play this year. I mean, they're looking to the future. Deshaun Watson's not going to be there because of all the charges. So this kid has a chance to go play first week snaps in the NFL. Good luck. You got no wide receivers, no offensive line to guard you. Oh, he's going to be fucked. This kid will be in the league for 2 years. He's gone.
If you had plans on drafting a quarterback, why you go out and sign Tyrod Taylor? You know what I mean? Like, you had so many fucking holes to fill in Houston. You are terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay. Why are you going out and getting a rookie quarterback in the third round, your first pick, when you have more holes than any team in the league to fill besides Jacksonville, right? So you go out and take a quarterback.
I was going to say a mom joke there. I didn't know if that was appropriate or not. Damn it.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, why go out? And everybody's been making fun of this pick. He's not going to come in and help you because Tyrod Taylor's going to start. He started last year for the Chargers and probably would have started most of the year if that fucking weird doctor didn't pierce his lung. So it's like, I don't know. I just thought it was such a wasted pick, and it just made me. I've been laughing about it for 2 days. Like, this is your first solo draft, Nick, and you take a fucking quarterback in the third round.
It's a coup. It's a New England Patriots coup. Easterby and Bill O'Brien, now Nick Caserio, they're out. This is why the Patriots draft sucks for so long, because they've been focused on destroying the Houston Texans from the inside out. That's their only goal. It has to be. It's the only rational decision.
Yeah, and one more thing on Mac Jones, like Belichick's words afterward, he's like, "Yeah, we all agreed. And you see the video. There was more guys in the war room this year than it was the typical 4 or 5 guys, right?
Yeah, so it's like was there too. Nike
only for the 7th round. But it was just weird comments. And
it was a little convoluted. Sorry to cut you off. I think Bill, like you said, I don't know if Mac Jones was his first pick at 15.
I'll get more into it.
He might be laying the groundwork if Mac Jones doesn't work out. That like, hey man, this wasn't my call. This was a commutative call. I got voted off the island. So
don't you think it was like, and Felger Matt said the same thing. It was so fucking staged. That first pick, it was so fucking
gross. That video was gross.
Oh, it was so
PR. Don't turn into the Red Sox, Mr. Kraft. Don't turn into the fucking.
Well, I think you remember too, because like the draft has been so bad, and Kraft's kind of been saying it, and then Belichick whatever he fucking did to get the draft, he reevaluated his draft procedure, and now he's like listening more because the N'Keal Harry pick, he did it basically on his own. So this is what him saying, yeah, we decided on this. Yeah, that's his out when he fucking.
Yeah, when Mac Jones falls on his face, that's his out. Tune in on Tuesday. We'll get more into that. Before we do that, hey Ray, did you catch the Celtics game the other night?
Fuck you, Rich. Fuck you.
I think they won.
Fun fact, I did watch this game.
Yeah, well, it was a good game to watch.
Good for you.
I did get a fire Brad text message pretty early on, which was warranted. I think they were losing 77-30 in the second quarter.
77-34 at halftime.
However, Jason Tatum goes out to tie Larry Bird with 60 points in overtime, with 60 points to complete the 32-point comeback. That's what I said.
I know. I just wanted to reiterate.
Okay, good. Yeah, it was in overtime. 32-point comeback, the most that I think ever for the Celtics, if not since the 70s or something. Where they
thought they said it was like one of the largest halftime deficits ever. I think they were number.
Right?
I think they were number 2 all time. I think this is
that's how big it was.
Yeah. So anyway, Tatum explodes and they get the win over the Spurs.
The lifeless Spurs too.
You suck.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ray.
No, it's just whatever. I mean, to be down by 32 points going into halftime, I mean, where's the switch? Why is it all of a sudden coming after halftime? I mean, Brad didn't have control of the first half. What happened in the second half? That's what I would really like to know. Like, what had happened and changed this guy's whole mentality of the game to take it over? Like, where was this in the first half?
Can I go?
Why do we let this happen? Yes, please, by all means.
His name is Aaron Peach Baskets.
God damn it! I shouldn't have let you go. He played every minute of the fourth quarter and every minute of overtime. 16 points, 15 points the game before. They're finally playing him. Yeah, I mean they came out like shit, but Jason Tatum had 18 points in the first quarter. He was the only guy that was scoring the ball. The team came out. I mean he kind of went into hero ball late, and you needed it. He was the only driving force on that team, and outside of Peach Baskets, who I thought played very well late, and 60 points. He was 18 and 19 from the line, 20 of 37 or 20 or 32 from the field.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a big boy game. 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Like, he was driving to the hoop with authority, getting to the line. You're really seeing it now. And the biggest thing we haven't mentioned yet, 0 turnovers.
Big.
22 turnovers in his last 5 games going into Sunday. Yeah, or Friday night.
Yeah, whatever it was. It was 98 possessions. He touched the ball too.
Yeah. So the biggest thing, like, you need him rounding into form. I thought he hasn't been great since he was Eastern Player of the Month in March, right? I don't think he's fallen off a little bit here at the last week, but this is what you really needed. You need, people are saying this is hopefully the game that kind of gets them going, but I'm still down on the Celtics. I thought they should have easily won, but it's nice to show that compete and then the fight level to come back. You're just missing. Who's the guy we just traded for? I forget his fucking name. He just came back from COVID.
Fournier.
Yeah, you're seeing the effects he's having. You saw Tatum earlier, so hopefully by the playoff time you can kind of get him going, because you're really going to need it off the bench.
This is the deal with
Waters and Grant Williams.
Oh no,
I can't. I'm over those guys.
This is why these games are important. And yeah, there's no excuse for getting down that big in the NBA when you're playing that type of team. The Spurs are well coached. It's Greg Popovich. Like, you've watched that game, their offense is really fun to watch. It's moving the ball, driving, dish. They have no superstar. DeRozan's the best player they have, but he's not,
he's not
he's not a ball hog kind of player. So their defense was atrocious in the first half. They didn't have a lot of effort, but the Tatum thing is, it not only was a big scoring output, it was clutch and late.
Yeah.
You brought them back. The mid to end of the third quarter was their comeback, which was all team driven. And then in the fourth, he took over. He had 20 something points in the fourth. And then overtime, he had clinching free throws and made some big plays. So that was a big boy performance. I mean, anytime you score 60, it's a big boy performance. But his biggest knock has been clutch and late, turning the ball over and looking like shit. He didn't do that game. I get it's against the Spurs and it's not that good. But more importantly, I said this a couple weeks ago when Tatum was having good games. When Tatum is playing at the elite level that he is capable of, this team is good. Like, not just potentially good, they're good because everyone falls into place. The problem is what you just said, Bill. The Grant Williams and whoever else they have on their bench, like, they don't have a good enough team for Tatum not to show up like that every single night, because it allows Jaylen Brown to go put in 30 next to him. It allows Kemba Walker to put in 22, and allows Marcus Smart to do Marcus Smart things and not feel like he has to score 20 points. Everybody gets to fall in line. And don't sleep on Rob Williams being out there, because that's a big difference. And Peach Baskets finally looks like he knows where to go on the court. And that was like, beginning of the season,
got confidence.
He was running around like an infant on a basketball court, bumping into people, literally like bumping into Tatum in the corner. Now he has a better idea of the NBA game, and his energy and hustle is a big part of what they can do.
Dude. You could see why he was, one of the best shooters in the draft. He's got
the best shooter in the draft.
The best shooter in the draft. It's smooth, and now he's hitting it with confidence. I mean, you heard him after the game, the last couple of games. It's like, I wasn't confident shooting the ball, and I just think that had to do with the speed of the game and all that stuff. It just wasn't there for him. Well, now he's getting meaningful minutes. I mean, you're a rookie, hasn't played basically all year, and you literally played the last 17 minutes of the game. You didn't come off the court. Like, that's huge, and you're producing. You're not just sit there. Like you said, he's getting to his spots. He's hitting the open shots.
Confidence booster.
Yeah, and then again, Robert Williams, that was a big play at the end too, that overturned foul, because that would have put him on the line. He's a 63% free throw shooter, and it was a jump ball that he easily won. But then you want to talk about Jaylen Brown, big clutch three. Good ball movement from Tatum to Smart, wide open three. I mean, that's a shot you have to make. But I think the biggest thing we're undervaluing right now is the fact that this team needs to get fucking healthy. They need to get healthy to get into the playoffs, because if they don't have a healthy and consistent Kemba Walker, this team is in trouble. They need that third guy for everything you just said about Jason Tatum. The nights that he falls off, which we've seen, and Jaylen Brown can't pick it up, right? You need that third guy. This team is so dependent on it, because, again, you're not going to see a 60-point night out of Jason Tatum every single night. And look what it had to do to come back from 30. You had to drop 60.
Right.
To come back.
That's the team you have. Your team's not good enough, but you have elite level. And it's funny you say, like, we got to move on, but the Tatum and Brown and Kemba thing, like, Jaylen Brown has been your best player all year long, your most consistent player. He's giving you 20 from a scoring perspective. He's giving you 20 to 25 points every single night, if not more. And it's been between, is Kemba on or is Kemba off? Is Tatum on or is Tatum off? And if both those guys are off on any given night, they get fucking smoked. That's kind of like you can kind of boil it down to that that simplistic of a formula. And with Kemba skipping so many games because, he's now old and brittle and now his side hurts. So that's really what it comes down to. You're absolutely right. If both those guys are healthy and both of them are on, I think they can beat anybody in the NBA with just their elite talent. That's what the NBA is. But they haven't been all season long. They haven't been consistent, and that's the problem.
The good thing too is like Fournier's. No, I shouldn't say the good thing, but now you're seeing what we hoped Fournier would be out of Naismith the last 2 games. 15 points, 16 points off the bench. Again, crunch time numbers and big shots. Like that's what we want Fournier. Well,
COVID. Look what COVID did to Tatum. I mean, he's still.
Did you just listen 5 minutes ago when I said that?
No, but I'm saying though, but if you get both of these guys going playoff time, if we're right now we're the 6th seed tied with Miami for the 6th seed with Miami. I mean, if you guys get these guys going and we actually have a bench depth, I mean, we could be scary. We could be going to the second round and actually fighting the Nets for a couple of games.
Robert Williams too. Him and Kemba.
Oh, Robert Williams. Yeah, he's a big guy.
They need to get healthy, and the record when they don't have Robert Williams on the court is not good.
It's bad.
I think you're 8 games under 500, I believe, with him not on the court. Like you see the energy. This is what we need him. He's finally made that leap. Just stay healthy. You could maybe make a run in the playoffs, but I still don't think you're getting out of the second round.
There's no reason you should feel confident in it because everything has to work close to 100%.
Remember what we said about the Bruins at our opening preview of the season? So much question marks and everything has to fall into place. This is exactly where we are at the Celtics right now at the end of the season.
Great segue. Beautiful segue. Bill, moving on to the Bruins.
Energized.
Yeah, look at you. We got a sober Billy Rambles, which is
it doesn't look miserable.
It's baffling, actually. But we only have 2 minutes and 3 subjects to get through. So try to keep the rambles down. Bruins sweep the Sabres with ease. Is this a Bruins thing or is this a hockey guy Ray?
Yes.
Is this a Bruins thing or is this a Sabres thing? Does it matter? You're 1 point behind the Islanders for third, 3 points behind the Caps. The points to me in this Eastern Division don't matter. You got 6 games left. I think anybody could fall anywhere. My whole thing is still avoid the Caps in round 1. Bruins talk.
Which right now you would. So, I mean, all you got to do is get into the playoffs. Hold off for Rangers. The Bruins look good. You got to beat the bad teams. Sabres are a bad team. Taylor Hall is looking like the best acquisition we got in the trade deadline. He's looking like his old self. Love it. Krejci's playing phenomenal right now, as we all wrote him off earlier in the season because we thought he was old and couldn't do anything anymore. But he's looking. That second line has been rejuvenated. They're looking great. I mean, that's all you need. You need to be hot going into the playoffs. Any team that gets hot in that hot little run can go to the Stanley Cup Finals and win it all.
Yeah, that little Krejci dangle in that game.
Disgusting.
I was just like.
Made a move, Bill.
Live on,
dude, that was disgusting.
It was nasty. Bill, same to you, but it looks like Tuukka's back, ready to go. Does this 6-game stretch still matter for him? I mean, if he has, 2 or 3 games in this 6th game looking like trash, if he falls off the ledge, is there still a question mark there, or are you steadfast on it's Tuukka game 1, round 1 of the playoffs?
If he falls off in those last 6 games in the way Swayman's playing right now, I mean, the question has to be asked. But the problem is he's playing good. You're gonna get him 3-4 of these 6, probably get him. His back looks healthy. Get him in there. I still think he's just from the veteran presence. I still think he's your best chance. But I'm pretty confident in Swayman in the playoffs. Honestly, just his body of work right now. He doesn't look rattled. I thought the breakaway goal yesterday wasn't really his fault, but it still kind of should have been saved coming out of the penalty box. But it's a good backup. No more Halak. You're going to get it. You're going to feel confident in a guy that could play every single night, where last year, when Tuukka left the bubble, we didn't feel confident in Halak playing every night, but that's completely changed with the way Swayman's playing.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's a better situation if Tuukka gets the start, and if either he sucks or he gets hurt, then Swayman can come in and the pressure is lower. He can just go out there and play, as opposed to handing him the entire Stanley Cup playoffs on a platter and go, here you go, kid. Don't fuck it up.
They're kind of already set him up for playoff things. If you think about that Pittsburgh game last week, 1-0, that he's playing the Caps, the Islanders, like they're putting up against the best teams because I think they might have a plan. If Tuukka falls, like he's the guy.
Oh yeah. You would have to imagine that's the case. Okay. Real quick on the Sox. They have dropped 2 or 3 to the Rangers. No, not a big deal, but Nikki Nike in our last show called it. She thought that they were going to lose this series to the Rangers. look, we don't have to get into the weeds in baseball talk right now, but my point here is they're not good enough to get into a slump. You need to keep this pace. You need to win today, Sunday, to take 2 out of 4, not lose the series. Just keep not losing series. I think that's the new motto for the Boston Red Sox.
Yep.
Just keep not losing series. Keep yourself in it because you're not good enough to dig yourself out of a hole. You've set yourself up really well here with the beginning of the season, giving yourself a little runway. But if you start dropping 3 out of 4 to teams, you're not going to be able to come back.
Yeah, you got the White Sox coming in next. They never play well in Chicago. They never play well in Texas, and you're seeing it. Texas is a fucking terrible team. The Red Sox should have been rolling, but again, their pitching is not strong enough to withstand this. You saw it yesterday. Erod looked like shit. They pulled him after 5 innings in under 70 pitches, and Andriese came in and gave a 2-run homer. Game over. Bullpen lost the game. So that's supposed to be one of your strengths, but this pitching's not going to hold up. Especially if the offense go cold. You saw 2 games this week against the Mets. They scored 3 runs in 2 games. And then they haven't been scoring a lot. It was 8-6 yesterday, and I think they won 5-3. So they're not scoring a shit ton of runs. So if this offense goes ice cold, this pitching can't carry them. They're not good enough.
Raymond, the Kentucky Derby happened this weekend. Do you watch it? No. Why is horse racing so widely accepted when most states, like Congress, has to make a law for us to be able to gamble on football? But horse racing is fine. You can just grow and gamble your ass off no matter what.
Because it's an animal that you're gambling on?
So it's hard to
Not
fix
if you
it.
ask PETA.
True.
I fucking love horse racing.
Of course you do.
I fucking love it.
Of course you do.
I love gambling
Is that the
on horse
reason?
racing.
Is that the reason? Because the fix,
That would be my guess. It's hard
Jim Sweeney, we did interview the Boston College sports shaming scandal participant. I just don't think. Yeah, maybe. I just don't think there's enough money in it. In
horse racing?
Oh, it's
not
hard.
Not compared to sports gambling.
No,
across the board.
Oh, of course, no.
No.
Someone who's the mattress guy?
If you
mattress guy put like $4 million on
$4 million, dude, get your shit fixed.
Wow. Sorry, producer Bill. This has been the Simple Minds Sports Show. Monday headlines, May 4th. May 3rd. Bye-bye.
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 Sorry, producer Bill.
Just shit fixed, motherfucker.
He's just so on point when he's sober and the sun's out.
Is that a white shirt or is that a blue shirt?
It's blue.
Good question.
I have a white shirt underneath.
Well, because your hat is black, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, it's looking blue.
Yeah, it's a shitty computer. It's a work computer. It's free. What do you want from me?
Say no more.
Get a camera.
Keep your own computer. Be a big boy.
Yeah. Why am I going to buy a computer?
You're 68 years old. Just buy.
I can take this one home. Like I don't need to buy one.
Because we do a show that requires video, and you have a blue hat that's black.
Hey, maybe it's just because it's a bright blue shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah, that's it.
Kicking